Okay, that's weird.
Anyway.
Ta-da! Isn't it great to have a technology? Okay, I'm going to sit here because I don't want to blow anything here. And how do I get this guy out of the way? Just that bottom bar. The more. Oh, am I not sharing now? Okay. Oh, got it. Okay. Is there anything I need to do to get really good audio though? Is there any advanced setting I need to do? Oh, share sound, then optimize for video. That's what I did before. Okay. So I am now sharing. Okay, as everybody can confirm that they should be seeing. Hold on, let me get there. PowerPoint. Oop, nope. What is this nonsense? I don't want that. Oh, I see. There we go. Yay. Okay. Hello. Hello, everybody. All right. So let's start all over again. Okay, here. Now we're good? And I'm kind of in the bottom corner. Okay, now you know Kung Fu. All right, I need to stay here, right? Okay, I'm going to stay here just to make it easy. All right, let me start at the beginning. My name is Rick McCauley. I'm a senior professor here at Broward College. For the last 24 years, I've been in charge of the graphic design program here at Broward College, leading to awards, NASDAQ accreditation, all kinds of good stuff. When I got here, I came from the Miami Herald. I was a photojournalist for 15 years, part of the Mario boat lift, photographed the first space shuttle launch. I can go into a lot of, in fact, I'll just kind of show you the whole about me. So this is me with Jimmy Buffett on the treasure ship. This is Mel Fisher. That picture of Mel Fisher is the day that he found $4.7 billion worth of treasure from the Nuestra de Atocha. And I was the only photographer. I grabbed him off a stool. He was drunk because he's been looking 26 years for this thing. And he was down to his last dollar, had sold his car the day before. He finds this and becomes one of the richest men in the world overnight, and actually tipped the entire silver market because each one of those bars weighs 70 pounds. And there were about 3,000 of them that all of a sudden. So each one's about $200,000. It tanked the price of silver, you know, a whole lot of thing. So Jimmy Buffett then, rest his soul, was on the ship and took a photograph that became the cover of one of his albums with Jimmy Buffett in that exact position right there. So to say I've had a storied past is pretty modest, and I'll just leave it at that. But I photographed the first space shuttle launch. There I am on the right. I was a good-looking guy, wasn't I, right? WLRN, I did a TV series, 12-part series for WLRN in photography. Had Flip Schulke, who photographed Martin Luther King for Jet Magazine, one of the, I mean, just a legendary photographer. He's since passed. I'm reaching 65, so pretty much everybody I knew back then is gone and forgotten. I'm still hanging in there, and I'm just revived with AI. Made over 3,000 dives around the world. I've gone to 110 countries. I'm going to go for the whole shebang in 198 countries or whatever it is. I'm going to visit them all. Lived in Shanghai and taught there, and also in Kazan, Russia, for Broward College, by the way, which is pretty cool. And there's, you know, pictures from my life. So I've had a good life. But what we're here to do is I'm also one of the lead two educators for the AI Institute. We are right now educating every one of the professors at Broward College. What is there, 5,000 something, 5,060, something like that? We've educated 200 of them with 25 hours of professional development. So if you want to follow me and you want to check out everything AI, my name is Rick McCauley. That's all you need to know. If you put that in, you'll have 27 pages of Google references. I'm extremely public, to say the least. So literally go to my YouTube. It's Rick McCauley at YouTube. Gmail, Rick McCauley at Gmail, spelled just like that. Only at Broward College do I lose the Y, because they only got so many characters here at Broward College, and they can't handle the Y, but it's Rick McCauley, R. McCauley, I should say. So you can take a look at this. Each one of these is recorded 2 hours, 3 hours even, every Thursday night, and I'm starting back up, and students are welcome to join. This is my own personal thing. I'm just doing this out of love stuff, right? So join us in the conversation with educators and help educate them about what you know about it, because you've done a lot more research and you've got a lot more to lose if you don't get this right, because it's your future that we're preparing you for. All we do is sit there as a driver's ed educator, right, on the side, who doesn't know how to drive the most modern car. And what you need to do is educate them so they trust you with the keys of the car. And what you have to do, I would hope, is to be trustworthy. So if I literally right now, I said, here's the keys to my car. Go out and get us ice cream. Here's your $50 bill. Would you come back with an ice cream and a change? You would, because you're a good, decent person. Now, to me, every once in a while, you're going to go out and get drunk and steal my car. Yeah, that could happen. But I believe that namaste, which is a belief that inside of every one person you meet is God, or whatever you call God. It is a divine entity who's good until you prove otherwise. So every student I have come in, I love you until I have to learn that, unfortunately, I can't trust you. So trust and verify. So my idea is that if you're going to use AI, use it to better yourself. Because if you're using it to cheating, you're cheating yourself. You can get in a car, go drive drunk, kill somebody. It's on you. Your ethics are the first thing that we need to educate about you. The number one thing that you should be born with as a human being is responsibilities for other people. Solve problems for other people. Why are you doing a hackathon? Because you've identified something that you know is not as good as it could be, and you want to make it better. If you spend your entire life with that one thought in mind, I swear, not only will you be the happiest person on earth, you will have a life of abundance. I got $1 million sitting in the bank. I'm 65 years old. I literally could be diving around the country. You know what I'm doing for the rest of my life till the day I drop? Is doing this. Because I can amplify you. I can get you motivated. I can get you excited about life. And if I can do that, if I can change, if I can plant a seed, even if I don't get to enjoy the shade of that tree, let me tell you, I know in my heart that I did all that. So when you walk out of this, think about every situation you have with another individual. Ask this question. How can I make that other person's experience of me leave them better than they were before they met me? Ask that of your boyfriend, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your best friend. And if every day all you do is try to make a better experience for other human beings, and then start to think about the big problems in the world. Are you happy with social media? Are you happy with your politics? Get out and vote. First of all, own up to your responsibility to do that. Without it, you've got no rights whatsoever. We're not born with rights, but we seem to be more excited about that than we are with the responsibilities. Native Americans that believe that they don't own any land, they belong to the land. And also, they're born with responsibilities, not rights. So unless you grow up thinking that if there's nothing more that you learn from this conversation, is that we are all born with responsibilities to ourselves, to others, and our entire planet, and all the creatures we cohabitate with. And we have done a piss poor job of it. Time to fix it. So anyway, let's hackathon, let's make some stuff happen that changes the world, as Steve Jobs says. So follow me there. I'm going to start with this little thing for two reasons. Perplexity is the tool we're going to use. It's a tool of choice. Now, what's the difference between Perplexity and ChatGPT and Claude and all the other ones, right? Perplexity sits between large language models. It has at its disposal the latest Claude, the latest ChatGPT, okay? They took two versions of Llama and they created a search engine. So the CEO of the company, and if you get a chance, Lex Fridman, Fridman, go look for his conversation with the owner of it. If you want to know what large language models are and how they work, the CEO worked at Google, he worked at OpenMind, and he stole the keys of the kingdom and he put them in Perplexity. So what you have, if you've ever done a search on Google, and I did this the other day, so the Super Bowl just happened. You ask Google to say, you ask Gemini, a Gemini or ChatGPT. Tell me what happened today at the Super Bowl. It's got no idea. The training data got shut off back in December at that time in January, right? Had no idea. Gemini came out with all their announcements and new stuff. I went to Gemini, made by Google, and asked it top 10 things that you talked about yesterday at the conference. Silence. Doesn't know. It's not connected to the internet. So it's not connected to the internet because it's a large language model that has a model of the world, but it's not a search engine at all. As a matter of fact, I asked just yesterday, I said, Gemini, what about the 10 best YouTube videos about photography? basic photography class I was teaching. I just wanted to give them 10 links for the students to go take a look at. What's f-stop, what shutter speed, right? It got all the names correct. Now realize Gemini is owned by Google, and so is YouTube. It got 8 out of 10 URLs wrong. I come to find out there is a plugin that activates its ability to communicate with YouTube in particular. It did a little bit better job once I turned that on. It's not on by default, I come to find out. But Perplexity, on the other hand, has an engine that is the best search engine. It's its own search engine. He literally stole the keys of the kingdom. And he's doing some stuff that some people are really upset about. If you say, don't crawl my site, bro, right? It's an unwritten code. It's not a law. He goes under it and gets the data. And unlike Google, he doesn't put 15 ads on top of it before you get to what you went looking for. And as I'm going to demonstrate. So the reason why I have this QR code up there for so long, if you click on that on your phone right now, and you go there and you sign up with Broward College email address, you will get 1 month of the pro account for free and take you into the month that you're going to be doing the hackathon, right? Do it, please. If we get 500 of students, in fact, send this QR code to everybody you got. If you use that QR code when you sign in, we get to 500, all of Broward College, including professors and students for 1 year, are going to get access to the pro account. How much is that? $200. You got $200 in your pocket? No, sir. So please do that. Yes, sir.
When it comes to like college, would they have to have 500 students every year sign up for them?
Well, I don't know. This is a promotional thing. Right now, out of the over 1,000 AI tools per week, let me say it again, there's more than 1,000 AI tools developed per week. Perplexity is now number 14. It was number 87 2 weeks ago. They're in a push to get to number 1. And I use it before I use ChatGPT, before I use Claude, before I use any other tool. I go here. If the information I'm looking for is citations, I'm going to demonstrate that very clearly. In fact, you know what? Let's just jump to the, okay, everybody got this down, right? And I'm going to circulate this around. I'm going to try to get them to send out an all call to every Broward College email address. Or if you want to get in a Slack channel and start to send this QR code to people, that would be spectacular if you would do that. So let me go switch out. I'm going to go right to Perplexity, and we're going to jump right in and show you what this puppy does. Okay, so I was kind of just walking through a demo of this product. I'm going to go to the home crowd of it here. So this is Perplexity. And it looks like every other chatbot that you've ever used, right? How do we get this sucker out of the way? Okay, here we go. So you ask it anything. Now, what does it do? It actually can go in, you can choose where it gets its information from. So if you're doing an academic research, it has all, all the publications, academic papers, it's got that as a separate database. It's got a mathematical database, a social media database, a video database, web, and writing. Okay, so I want all that. So I just let it focus and do its thing. Then over here, if we take a look at which model am I using, let me go change to, come on. And another cool thing about it is every morning you can wake up, you go get your news. Where do you get your news from? Where do you decide to, you go on the web? You go to Apple News, you go to Google News, you go to what news? Okay, so if you want to know about tech news, you get what's called Perplexity pages. So these are people, so right now, United's free Starlink, let's see if we can find something interesting here. Mr. Beast $100 million Amazon game show, okay. So I click on that, what I get is a page. It's curated by Archimedes. You can curate your own page, right? In here, it has the whole description, and then it has all the sources. So from where it got that information, let me click on that. There's the source right there. You click on that, takes you to the website. Here is that story. So literally every news story is 20 different search engines, which includes images, video, and URLs for every question you ask. All right, let's find out something more important than that, right? Because that's kind of boring. Let me go back to this. Instead of that one source, let's go do something that's important. So here's just an example of some pages I have created myself. When you have the pro account, you can make your own. So just today, I I was asking it a series of questions, and I'll demonstrate how I did this. How do I prepare for a hackathon? Like, give me 10 ideas. So I went out and did the research, and it says, here's some tools. Here's how you would use Perplexity. Here's ChatGPT and Miro tools. And then Esther said to me, hey, you guys are here's 10 step hackathon process. Research, brainstorm, form a diverse team and complementary skill sets, create a project plan, timeline for using Miro, map out your tasks, start prototyping, use Figma and UX design, leverage GitHub, Copilot, ChatGPT to accelerate coding, problem solving, test your prototype. You get the idea. So I'm going to build this in front of you so you know I'm not fooling around here, right? She said that you all are using Figma, so I just did a little question about Figma. Let me show you how I just made this. All right, so what we do is we start here. And you start a question about anything. So I set up my keyboard shortcut. So if I double tap on my function key, starts up dictation. This is how you talk to an AI. Leading a bunch of students through a hackathon. The idea is that you're given a theme, and in 48 hours, we're going to look for solutions that change the world. The prize at the end is $10,000 and bragging rights for the rest of the year for the group of students that come up with the best idea. First, can you tell me 10 things and cite detailed lists and URLs to sources of information? What are the 10 steps to successfully win that $10,000 prize? Give me an order from ideation and beginning point to execution and then to presentation. So 3 of each of those categories. And in number 10, please let me know what other things I need to ask going forward to find ways to win this hackathon. I'm working with 5 other students, and I want to give this to them as a resource so they can start thinking about how to prepare to win this trophy. Okay. So what did I do? Here we go. What did I do? Stated my problem, told her how I want it delivered with the amount of detail that I want delivered, and that I want citations and URLs. If I did this in ChatGPT, guess what it would not give me? All the citation URLs. Okay. So I'm just going to I'm in the pro account. It will show you the logic steps it's taking. So it's rephrasing my questions. Watch it real quickly because it's going to go by quickly. Oh, prepare to win this. Oh, yeah. And create a product that truly changes the world. Yeah. So even though I messed up and it didn't type my words right, it's looking for search successful strategies to win a hackathon, focusing on ideation, execution, presentation. So it basically took what I said and turned it into language it can execute, right? So here's the sources, and there's a bunch of them. In fact, let's take a look at them. Oh, there's the first one. I should have hit the one on the side. Here we go. 5 sources. Here's all the sources. Take a look at this. So here's 8 sources that used to do that. So if I find one source and I say, you know what, that's a bogus website. That's an ad website. It's not what I want. I click on it and said, nope, I don't want that. But I actually do because all these are rock solid. All right. So that's my citation engine. It would have over there when I ask later, which is what I'm going to do. Give me 5 videos I can watch over the weekend to prepare for the hackathon to get me excited. Yes. All right. So ideation, understand the theme and brainstorm ideas. 3, analyze the given theme, conduct extensive brainstorming sessions, encourage students to think creatively, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So then I go in execution from diverse skilled teams. So we want to assemble a team that's going to be able to do this, create a minimum viable product. So focus, I know, is certainly, if the design project, if you don't focus, you're trying to do too broad a thing. So come up with your idea, but then focus it so it's doable in the 48 hours that you got. And your executable is to say, who am I doing this for? So your mission statement, your thesis, who am I doing it for? And what are their need sets? So I typically, in all design projects, I create 3 persona groups. I create who is going to use this product, 3 non-overlapping need sets, and I identify for those 3 people, and I can show you how to create a persona group right here too, by the way, which is cool. And I'll do that at the end here. So I want to do that so I know who I'm doing it for. So if some of the people are over 40, they're going to use bifocals. You're going to get there. I know you're over 40. You're going to go blind. So you want larger type or scalable type. That may be a combination you got to think about. And if you didn't put that over 40 personality in there, it wouldn't solve that problem. Kind of getting it? Okay. So then execute diverse team. So we want a minimum viable product. What does that mean? Okay. And then leverage existing APIs. So open source libraries, get yourself a list of, do a research and find out what are the APIs already available for this area of study. I'm trying to create an app that's a hurricane app for people to use so I can get my supplies ready for a hurricane. What do I need to do that? What are the things already available? Who's my competition is what I always do. Who already has a product that does this? Let me give you an example. I started dating, got divorced after 27 years of marriage, had to go to my son and ask him, what's this Tinder thing? And he just embarrassingly explained it to me. Next thing I know, I'm on dating sites, but I give my phone number to the person, call me, like I want to talk in person. And nobody would. Why? They're not secure. You have to give up your own phone number, your personal phone number, and now you're going to be stalked for the rest of your life. Not to mention, they can find out where you live and come visit you at the middle of the night, right? That's not good. So we created TrueDate. TrueDate does three things. Verifies who you are. So you take a picture of, and if you ever seen OfferUp, they use this technology. You take a picture of your driver's license. You turn it around. Within 30 minutes, you have to take a picture of your face. If they don't match, it's a catfish, right? Does a background check based on your driver's license. Have you ever been incarcerated? Okay. If you haven't, you get a gold star. So then they know you're at least a decent guy and you are who you say you are. So that's a verified person, number one. Number two is that then I go pick her up and I meet her somewhere. And I had my roommate at the time and she was dating also. And she got roofied. And she's like, what do I do now? Well, on your phone, you've got this ability to call SOS, right? So we set up a system in TrueDate, said, if they don't check every few minutes, if you don't check in and say watermelon every 10 minutes or tap your phone, that it will immediately call all your SOS people, including the police. So just like on your Apple phone, and mine went off accidentally when I was at Disney, and the cops showed up, and my ex-wife called me from New York, and my daughter cried screaming because they thought I would drop dead of a heart attack. But because it went off on but anyway, it would be on your date with you. So if you did not tap it in the case she got roofied, luckily she was with a friend that saw what happened and then called the police. He's now serving 10 years in jail because he had done it to 5 women before. So if I want to date, the other problem with dating services, guess what? They're in it for the money. They're not trying to find you a date. They're not going to give you the perfect match for the rest of your love life. They don't really think about what you want. They care about keeping you on there, giving you lots of illusion of choices. And only after every 6,000 people am I willing to date one of them, because it's just slim pickings out there for a 65-year-old man. Just got to say, they're either dead or just not that interesting. And I want to date age appropriate. Otherwise, embarrass my beautiful daughter. But anyway, so let's get back to this. So when you're thinking about ideation on these things, think about what's a problem that the world needs solved. That's one of them, if you want to give that a shot. And I got 100 more for you. So presentation. So that's definitely a compelling story. We want to know the story that I just told you. What did I just tell you? I told you about an extremely human experience that you all can relate to. Have you all been on a dating app before? Right? So if you've been there, you've done that, did it work for you? Are you married? Do you have kids right now? No. Well, I mean, maybe that wasn't your goal. So maybe Tinder was the right thing for you. It worked for you. Success, awesome, right? But think about a problem that the world has that you want to maybe offer a solution for. So dig deep, because when you then present and you say, I've solved the problem. Did you ever get catfished or roofied? That's the story you tell at the end. And let me tell you, they drop the check in your lap right away when that happens. And I can tell you multiple pitches like that. So, and you want to think about your time management because you got a limited time. User-centric design. Everything is a user experience. I told you a minute ago. So here's your assignment going home tonight. This is to get you started thinking about this hackathon. Pick the person you most love in the world, whoever that is. Maybe your dog. No. Wow. You know what? Your mom. Okay, so your mom, right? I want you to go home and think about, before you get there, I want you to write down 10 things that you could do that your mom would like. Call her more frequently. Bring her flowers for Mother's Day. Pick up 10 things and then do a couple of them. every day for the rest of the year. It's going to cost you time, money, effort. What do we have in life? Time, money, and effort. That's it. You got a finite amount of time on this planet. Use it wisely. And if you're trying to get out of stuff, you aren't using it wisely because it doesn't serve you or anyone else. If you're using it responsible for other people and thinking about their needs, being empathetic, you will solve all the problems in the world, and you will truly be a genius of the size of Steve Jobs, who gave you this phone in your pocket. When we didn't know the planet, no one knew we wanted this. And if any of you lost this phone today, whatever phone system you got, what would you do? How much of your outer wall have you created between you and the world on social media? And by using this phone, if the power grid went down tomorrow, there was no internet, what would you do? Well, this whole department would go away if we had no power. So think about that. Thought experiment for you is to go back to the 1400s. What skill set have you learned in life that you could take back there and be useful? I figured I could make a toilet. And I could tell them they need to wash more often because these germ things that they don't even see are what's killing them. And they should keep the cats around because what do the cats do? The plague was caused because they killed the cats because of witchcraft. Instead, they had rats overrunning and they carried the Black Plague, and that killed 100 million people. All right. So those are the two things I got to take back. And then the third is I'm a human being that realizes that all we have here is responsibilities to make a more beautiful life for others in order to feather our nest and make our own life truly beautiful. And that's it. So that's your hackathon. That's the big think of why you're doing a hackathon. You're solving world problems. Think big and tell a story. All right, so we get through that and we kind of go through it. And then it says, hey, what are some creative brainstorming techniques to use, right? I always read these very carefully. And I think, what does it suggest? Oh, okay, brainstorming ideas. Effective manage your time. Okay, that's the second one. What are the best tools for team collaboration? Okay, we're going to get to that in a minute. How can we leverage the resources provided by the event organizers? Okay. And what are the common mistakes to avoid during a hackathon? Remember those questions. In fact, if I could get each one of you to kind of remember one of them, I'm going to go back to this in a minute. So what I'm going to do right now is I've got the start of what I call a page. If you get the pro version, which you now have, if you did that QR code and you signed up with a Broward College email, check. I'm going to convert this into a page. A page does this. It creates and finds an image. What's the page? Oops, something went wrong here. Hold on. Convert to page. Let me try one more time. Oh, there we go. Okay. So it's taking my sentence, hackathon success story. And you notice that it says curated by Rick McCauley. Give it a minute. Take a look on the right. That's the table of contents it's generating right now. Introduction, ideation and brainstorming, developing a prototype, crafting and presentation, maximizing a hackathon success. All right. So what it's doing, and it's going to generate an image. Wait just a minute. You'll see it pop up there. And then it's shortened this, and there's a couple of tricks I'm going to show you right now. So here's the first trick with doing this successfully. So we can add media from our desktop if we wanted to. I'm not going to do that right now. I am going to come down here. You can insert a section anytime you want. So I want to add to that if I want to. You can also re-ask the question. So if this is not what you wanted, so this said, hackathons offer students unique opportunity to showcase innovation skills, potentially win a substantial prize, as reported by Hacker Noon. Understanding the challenge, forming the right team, and presenting your solution effectively are crucial steps in maximizing your chances. That sounds about what I was looking for, right? Cool. And then right here it says brainstorming. So I'm going to add some media. It goes out and finds some media. If I don't like that image right there, so it's crafting a blog with images, then I can go change that media and pick any of these other ones. And what is this? A search engine. So I want to hack brainstorm. So I'm going to have it search the internet. Now I have put up personal stuff. I've made illustrations for myself to customize these, and I'm going to leave you tonight. So, okay, here we go. Brainstorming a hackathon. Perfect. So there's the picture. So that's brainstorming a hackathon. There it is. And there's the date. Now you can take this. In fact, Esther, if you want to, you can take and put our information in there. So it's got Plutohacks right there, okay? So you can put whatever you want there. You can just change it. In fact, when you go to change it, just so you know, it says upload an image. Cool. All right, next thing. So now I come back to this. Now I'm going to go back, and this is when you should edit. You should always edit. By default, unfortunately, I have a meeting with them next week. I've been hired as a consultant with Perplexity because I've been using it so much. First thing, you want to have an image and text because the layout looks better that way. It's pretty. Then over here, instead of paragraphs or tables, you could actually choose that if you want to. If you're asking for a table of information, it will create the table for you. What I want is a numbered list. And instead of concise, I want to do a deep research. And then I hit go again. So it's going to go back and it's going to take that run-on sentence there, turn it into step-by-step bullet points. Now it's actionable. Guess what? Thoroughly research the hackathon theme and problem solving beforehand. Number one. Guess what it has right here? There is 10 tips to win your next hackathon. Girl Knows Tech. That's the link. I click on that. Bingo. It takes me to that website. And there, Girl Knows Tech, 10 tips to win a hackathon. And then there you are. So this is real research with every stage of the thing, 8 different points of reference citations. Did you ever get that from Google? You got one and done on Google. You got to go back and find out, give me the 10 best websites. And then you got to go through the ads to get to the content. Perplexity is all that, plus 2 large language models in the background, plus 3 different custom-made search engines that are custom-made by Perplexity to privilege you and your knowledge. Have I sold you yet? Do you want to buy this car? Yes, you do. I love this line. If you haven't seen this meme already, sell me this pencil. You ever seen that from, right? It's got AI. That's it. That's drop the mic time. Okay. Next one, developing a prototype. So how do I do a prototype? Okay. So there's some ideas right there, and I could change the artwork. I don't think so, but it tells me what I want, but it doesn't look, again, always go down here, pick that you want media plus text, come over here, make sure you have it as a list, because this is an actions list, right? And then instead of concise, tell it to go in depth, find out more information. If you don't get everything you want, you can insert a new paragraph in there and start over with your prompt as you're doing it. And then now we've got it the way we want. Okay. Develop a functional prototype. So that's what it's talking about, functional prototype. So I should probably look for an image, but I'm not going to. Is everybody kind of getting the rhythm of this? All right. So you keep on going. You can do this while we're sitting here. It's really just so fun and easy. All right. So next section, I can insert a section here. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to insert a section. What it does is it comes up with a new question. So what do I do? First, always set it to this media setting, then go over to numbered list and say detailed. So what do you want to know next? Do you want to know what tools you might use for ideation or how to ideate? How about that? So we start off, how do I figure out what project to do? Does that sound good? Any other additions anybody wants to add? Okay. Ooh. 5 common problems to avoid in doing a hackathon so that students can avoid making mistakes right up front. They should address everything from the beginning to the end, from ideation to execution and presentation. Make sure you give me a detailed, actionable list of things to do and how to avoid these problems. What I want and what I need, but I'm also getting into detail as to what I don't want and what additional things I want. So I'm going to do that. And so it builds within it. I don't have to go back and tell it detail. Pitfalls to avoid. Number 1, lack of presentation planning. Research the hackathon theme and rules before the event. Now, from what I understand, you're going to be blindsided with the choice of the prompt, right? Is that right, Esther? Okay, so you got to come just prepped. But what can you do behind the thing? Brainstorm ideas. Yeah, that's going to be there. Okay. Form a balanced team. Get your teammates together. I'm going to promote this for my students at Broward College graphic design program. You want a design thinker on your team, just FYI, because when it comes time for that presentation, who won last year? Was it somebody with a great presentation? Was that the tipping point? Yeah. And you probably did this amazing thing with all kinds of coding background. So you want that diversity of team members. So pay attention to that. Yes, sir. That's what she's saying, yeah. So your story and your idea is really the thing that gets you the check. Just keep that in mind. And who's good at that? Designers. If they're any of my students, let me tell you, you just want to bring them over, get them a hot dog, whatever. There's free food there, right? So just tell them you get free food and they'll come and work for that. Pizza, they're good. Familiar yourself with available tools and resources. So we're going to do that next. So when you're making a prompt session into a page, you want to think strategically. When I'm all done with this, I'm going to review it and then I'm going to take it to heart. So I'm looking for my next prompt right here. And I'm seeing one of the things is, how do I ideate? I think that's a beginning part, right? Or we could ask, how do I make sure I get a diverse team? Should I have a designer on my team or something like that? I've already given that answer, so I'm going to try to make it something. By the way, when I'm done with this, I'm going to send this to you all, and then along with that link again to Perplexity. And my only thing is that I'll ask is I'm going to do this whole thing so you guys can go use it. And you've got now the secret to the engine. Just do me a favor so that all of us can be enjoying the pro accounts. Get your friends and neighbors to sign up with that link. And that would be just awesome. Thank you. All right, so let's keep going. Anything else you want me to do in here now that we're kind of getting there? So maybe, what do you think? Maybe have them do something about, you tell me. What should we do next? Oh, is that what it says? Ooh, we got a very short time window. Get busy. You got an email chain of other students? Just send that around. For signing up for Perplexity, it's 2 days. Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah. If you got friends, just copy and paste that link to them. I would really, really appreciate it. Ooh, 2 days. Okay. All right. So let's get busy on this. All right. So you want to know how to ideate an idea? Okay, let's figure that out. For students is, how do you ideate? The college is going to give them a prompt to work from. It'll be something like, solve climate change or something really easy, right? And they're going to have to find a way. So can you give me 5 tips for how to ideate and think through a process so that we come up with an idea that has a story that will be very human and important for others to grab a hold of? The ones that have won in the past have always been ones that, in fact, that's my next question, have been ones that speak to and solve problems for real humans. So how do we do that? How do we ideate to find those solutions? Give me 5 really detailed, long, actionable steps to go do that. That as I'm talking to it, I come up with the next question. And the next question is, tell me the top 10 of all time hackathon ideas, and then tell me about the story about how they got executed. Empathize with potential users. Conduct rapid research through interviews, surveys, and observations. You don't have time for that. You got Perplexity instead, right? So pretend if you, hey, I'm designing a dating app. Give me 5 things that can make a dating app better. And then throw in an example. One example is, my friends are getting catfished all the time. Tell me how to solve that. You see, if I was sitting here right now and we were making that dating app, I would come up with the solutions that it took an entire 8-week course to come up with. You follow me? So your ideation comes, you come here, and once they give you the prompt, they said, this is the prompt at a hackathon. How do I solve it? You literally ask it for the answers. Now, it's not cheating, because what you're doing is asking it, how do I think about the next thing? But then you have to decide, you have to collaborate, you have to use the social engineering and social intelligence that you have, the empathetic voice. In fact, it said, empathize with the user. I'm the character that you're making that for. A 27-year married man who now has to go into a dating world. When I dated, it was corded phones with a rotary dial. So I don't know what to do with this world. So how do you empathize with me? How do you inhabit my problems and make them yours and solve them, right? Create personas. There you go. Always 3 personas. So definitely do this, right? create three personas, non-overlapping entities. Typically, this is what you do. Old, young, and medium, right? You have the target market. So it's mostly for people that are using dating apps. What's the age of the average dating? I don't know. Let me ask Perplexity and then have it create the personas for you, which we're going to do in a minute. So I want everybody to think of right now, just a crazy idea like the dating app, a problem you know exists that you're thinking about, you would love to do a hackathon about it. Because we're going to ask that question in a minute. I'm going to show you how to ideate that problem, and I'm going to give you a $10,000 check in 10 minutes. You ready for that? All right, here we go. So trial and error, heuristics, gut instincts, working backwards, and means and analysis. That's from the picture that came along with this. Use empathy mapping to understand the user's thoughts, feelings, and motivations, right? Identify specific human stories that illustrate the problem's impact. Getting roofied and catfish. There you go. Reframe the problem. How do I fix that, right? Break down the broad prompt into more specific sub-problems, right? How might we? And so this is it. This is genius. Man, I wish I had this when I was going through school, right? Prototype and test, and then craft and compelling narrative. Beautiful. This is fabulous. I'm really happy with this. And it's got the sort, each one is 11 ways to help students overcome creative blocks. Edutopia, guiding students in special education to generate ideas for writing, and then teach students to support their ideas learning room. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, so we're not to craft a presentation, so we're going to do the next one, right? So who's got an idea that we can run through the gamut here? How are we doing on time? We good? Who's got a hackable idea? Tell me some game-changing app or something that you want to make that could change the world. I know I gave you like 5 seconds. Yes.
So, like ethical data collection, how are we collecting data in a way that's ethical, kind of taking data to get it from the question, like, how do we collect data ethically?
Okay. So is this an app that you were suggesting?
Maybe that's sort of happen, like maybe it's for ethics, maybe like something to help
Okay.
people come up with a code of ethics or a framework of collecting data ethically.
Okay. Esther, could you tell me, is that a hackable idea for the hackathon, an ethical database of how you collect data?
We can try to make a database for ethical data.
Is whatever you want to create. Now, we have a team. And there'll be a talent, like, one of the prizes will be best, whatever.
Solution to that problem.
Project for the team.
Right.
Best overall. And we'll have other things. We'll have, first hacker, like.
What was last year's prompt, by the way?
Last year was. No, part change was 2 years ago. Last year.
Or who won it? What was the winning?
So if you. That's what, the last year was, you know,
Yeah.
this is our 9th year, all.
Okay. So what I'm going to do right now, so that we don't waste any time here, I want to get this through, right? Let me, but it's got to be an actionable thing, right? Right. Yes.
Collected.
Okay. Okay.
That does it the right way.
Right. Okay. I think there was a hackathon one time that, how do I get money to Cuba? How do I communicate with it? So they actually designed apps that were like WhatsApp. It was anonymous encrypted. Right. Okay.
With data, like.
Okay. So wait just a second. So watch this. Watch this. This is a magic trick. I'm going to pull a rabbit out of my hat. I'm going to tell you when we do it. Watch when I do it, though. Top 5 examples you can give of hackathons that have led to mind-changing and world-changing ideas. The hackathon is being done mostly with students that have technical internet skills and other coding skills, etc. I want to find a problem. So what is the most award-winning or most extraordinary 5 examples you can give with details as to what about those ideas became so famously wonderful that they really addressed something empathetically and addressed a human problem and solved it, that can be used as examples to what we might hold up as the best practices of what they do. Give me 5 listed and links to the original origin point of it so we can check it. Okay. So if we do this, it's going to tell us these ideas, right? And here we go. Groundbreaking. Group Muse created a music hack day event in Boston, addressed the problem of classical music's declining audience and inaccessibility. Connects classical musicians and audience for intimate house concerts, facilitated over 3,000 concerts, and reached 100,000 plus attendees. Empowers musicians and brings classical music to new diverse audiences. EcoBot, and these are the people right here, tackles the issue of ocean plastic pollution, uses YOLO V4 AI model to detect and locate ocean plastics with high, oh, this is a for real thing. And I know the people are involved in it. That's awesome. Sewing is growing. Chloe Lodge and Thomas Dove at Hack Them Midlands address the need for sustainable gardening community building, developing an online platform for seed sharing inspired by seed libraries, promotes biodiversity, reduces waste. Yeah, you get it, right? Karma points. That's awesome. And Calmly. Calmly was developed at a hackathon, folks. You guys use that? It's the one that has like meditation music and all kinds of stuff. So for mental health support, relaxation tools, simple relaxation tools. Here's an example showcasing. So that's what you can do with this. And then follow up and spend the week before just thinking about what problem, right? When you walk in, you're going to be loaded. Now, you're not going to know what the prompt is, but think of world problems and you can figure out a way to custom make it for that problem solution for that hackathon. And then you're going to be having perplexity at your disposal. So, but you get the prompt idea, right? Okay. So crafting a presentation, we're still not there yet. So what do we need to know? Okay, so we now know how to ideate, how to think about what a hackathon really does. Oh, you know what? I want to go deeper into that idea. So I'm going to insert a new prompt. I'm going to make sure that I got the picture because I like pictures. I learned from pictures, right? And then numbered list, and I want a detailed. Okay, so what I'm going to say next is what is a world-changing application? So we don't know what the prompt is going to be at the upcoming hackathon, but how do I prep myself? Tell me 5 promptable ways I can start to think, so I can address my mindset to prepare for this hackathon. Do I need to think, and how do I come up with an idea? No matter what idea is thrown to me, give me 5 ways to think different, like Steve Jobs does, when approaching problem solving, no matter what the topic is. So this is more of a question of how I should set my mindset. So I prepare my mind, like stretching for more equipped. So the topic is, without knowing what the topic is, okay. It always cuts me off. Yeah, I talk too much, so, you know. Ways to think and strategies that no matter what the topic is, I have a way of thinking about a problem and then finding a solution from that. Thank you. So design thinking process with an empathetic outcome and an actionable product that will win the hackathon. You get the idea, right? Of course, what does it do? It goes in there and then asks these questions and does the whole thing. There we go. Okay, so number 1, practice radical curiosity, right? And I mentioned Steve Jobs, and you know what that did? That did it right there. The Steve Jobs is what did it. Because radical curiosity is Steve Jobs' problematic place, right? Practice, constantly ask why and what if without everything around you. Explore diverse fields and subjects outside of your expertise. Seek new experiences and perspectives regularly. Keep curiosity journal and document observations and questions. Have you ever gotten in a rental car and you're trying to turn on the AC and get the temperature right and the radio, and the controls are in a different place? That's a design problem. Have you ever tried to date and you get catfished and roofied? That's a problem. These are all design thinking. So think about every day, you've got problems. Oh, I had a new gate put on my fence and I had to go to the city to get a permit for this gate. 2 months to get the permissions. And I thought, you know what I want to do? I want to go down there and say, have you met AI? And it will solve all the problems. You know what the problem was? The permits stack up so thick. They have to come out physically to see it. Then they have to go out a second and a third time, then to actually see the work was done properly, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many billions of ways that could be expedited. And then it has to go through so many desks with paper, literal paper. What's that? That's it. So in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to solve that problem right now. I'm going to show you how you do a hackathon in 10 minutes. Think I can do it? You ready? Okay. So it's got that idea. So I know I've got a problem in the real world. Let's fix the system of getting permits in every city in the United States. Think big and think of pain points. Right? What's the pain point? I had to get a fence. I'd do anything. And I got cities getting in my way. Okay. So embrace design thinking, empathize deeply with potential users and through observation and interviews. So if you aren't dating right now, go talk to someone who is frustrated by the fact and then do a little interview and figure it out. Design your portfolio and present that. Okay. Cultivate beginner's mindset. Approach each problem as if for the first time. You know, the genius of Albert Einstein is he didn't have so much education that got in his way. He worked on what are called first principles, meaning that he had no knowledge and he came up with an idea that no one could think of. Do you know the story of AlphaGo? AlphaGo is Google's DeepMind project. They played the best Go player after beating Kasparov and Jeopardy and all that kind of stuff. They, in fact, watch this. The AlphaGo is a documentary for free on YouTube, and you will end up crying at the humanity at the end if you watch it correctly. And here's how you can watch it correctly. They trained it on thousands of moves by all kinds of people. And then 5 out of 5 games that it played, it beat them on 4. And I'll tell you what the secret was, and you'll watch the documentary. And if you're a human being, you'll start to cry when you realize it. So it was trained on every human move that ever happened. Then it played itself and other computers. And that's how it learned. So it had a deep understanding of what the possibilities were. And the possibilities are really 10,000 times more difficult than chess as far as the possible moves and outcomes. So it's the most complicated thing to do. And then it got to a point, and it made this move. It was move number 26. And the entire planet, 1 billion people watched this live when it happened. So computers playing this this Go player, AlphaGo is the name of Alpha is the name of the application they created. And what it found out is when you learn Go, there is a move that no one ever makes. You're forbidden from using it because they've said this is the worst move you can make. It made that move. And then all of a sudden they realized there's a problem there because we don't know what to do when somebody makes that move. So the best chess master or chess Go player in the world said to himself, you know, he's beat me 4 times already because I've never met my match. And I just did. It said it thinks outside the box. Its divergent thinking process tried something that humans know not to do. So what do I do now? And he then thought, as you should all through your life, if you play against a tennis player that's better than you across the net, never play against the person. Play against your best self, the version of yourself, to improve you. You will never lose a game in your life because you will always be improving. So he said, I got nobody over there that's even giving me competition until this guy comes along. And my best self needs to show up. And he did, and he won. Because he said, I'm not playing against him. I'm playing against my best self, and I've never had competition like this. So it made him better. So people have not stopped watching chess live because it's human connection that we really care about. And this is the big thing in terms of your life that I really want you to walk away with here, is to think about how you're innovative thinking and you're thinking as a human being who has unique, indelible uniqueness to who and how you think that is different than every other perspective of every brain in a box in this room. And I use that word advisedly. Your brain is a box, and the only way into it is through doors that you have to open to allow your sight, your hearing, your taste, and your other senses to come in. And it has to go through a filter to get there. So you're not an autonomous aware of your self surroundings, nor can you easily get into someone else's brain set and mindset to be empathetic. So it's a skill you've got to work. But man, here's the thing, right? So focus on simplicity, connect desperate ideas, and I'll leave this, and you guys should definitely read this more later. So I'm going to prompt this like I never prompted before in my life, just for fun, because you guys deserve this to be an amazing experience here, right? Okay, so now I'm going to go here. I'm going to start a new section. I'm going to go for the detailed thing, and I'm going to show you how you start the problem with every city in America has a problem with permits. That I want you to help me ideate around. And that is every single city in America has a bottleneck of permits. It can take months just to get a permit to put a shed behind your house, the red tape and the other things. So what if I could create an application, maybe AI empowered, that could solve this problem? Give me a mission statement of how I should think about this problem and give me 5 solutions of different ways and different stages in which I can approach thinking from a design thinking direction, being empathetic of the poor people that got to wait for this permit, and also the workers who get slowed down because the fence people in my backyard couldn't get back there until the permit was okay. Once they did the work, we had to wait weeks after that. So it's a pain point. I'd like you to give me 5 ways to think about solving this and use all your knowledge of the permitting process in America for putting fences and doing anything around any house that a homeowner would love to be able to change, and think about how that would affect businesses and be better for the city as business gets done faster, more efficiently, and cheaper. I want to add efficiency to fix the problem that exists. Give me 5 ways I should think about it and 5 options I should use to do it. Yeah, so it does. I'll leave it at that. We'll just kind of see where it goes from there. Because the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I want you to create 3 personas for me. Streamlined permitting. Here you go. So that's why I put the picture in there, because of that. LG requirements for filing an application, simplified water availability house. There's a visual right there. You put that in your PowerPoint presentation, there's your story right there. So you get up there and what do you say? First thing you said, you ever tried to get a permit? You ever had a fence that you needed to put in, or you want to have your garage changed or redesign your house, right? Have you ever had that problem? There's your slide. Boom. Okay. And then you got the research. AI powered permit process. Develop an AI chatbot that guides homeowners through the permit application. Use natural language processing to interpret project descriptions and requirements. Automatically fill out necessary forms based on user input. So this happened at Rocket Mortgage. Look this up. This is your homework, right? Look at Rocket Mortgage. They saved $100 million. You know what the most expensive thing for Rocket Mortgage is? A human person to take in the information to give a mortgage to a person. They got AI to do it. Empathetically ask you all the questions that it needs to do. No human was involved. They cut $100 million off their bottom line to give them $100 million profit instantly. It cost them a couple of $1,000s to implement that program. Yes. So if we could do this at every city, imagine, right? Here we go. Blockchain, right? Blockchain permit tracking system. This approach leverages AI to simplify the complex permit application, making it more accessible and efficient for homeowners. According to a study by Deloitte, AI-powered chatbots can reduce customer service by up to 30% while improving user satisfaction. Yes, Rocket Mortgage. I'm serious. Look it up. It was just in the news last week. New York Times and Wall Street Journal both reported it with 10 other stories that do the same thing. Create a decentralized ledger to record and track all permit applications and approvals. Enables secure, transparent sharing of information between homeowners, contractors, and cities. That's the problem. I wasn't there to answer the question that the contractor, do you want the lock on the left or the right? The city says I can only make it open to the left, and you wanted it to the right. What should we do? I had to wait till I got home to call them up the next day, and it wasn't convenient for me. So that was the bottleneck. So I can attest to that problem, and I'll sit there and testimony and tell you. Implement smart contracts to automate certain approval processes based on predefined conditions. So to change a gate on a pre-existing fence, I don't have to check if it's encroaching on my neighbor or anything else. I just got to make sure it's done to code. So that should have been a slam dunk. Like literally, Ted sheds. This is a real thing. I want to put a shed in my backyard. Well, I can't put it in the side yard because you need 3 foot to the fence. Not enough room. They had to put it in the way back. Don't tell the city this, but I moved it later. But I put the shed back there, had to have tie downs for hurricane permits. Now, Ted's done this a million things because that's what they do, right? So they have these papers and engineering diagrams that are automatically filed at the city. So the permitting process for them took less time. But what if it's automated to a point where it's AI driven? And you have all the paperwork. So if all you do is sheds and fences, man, you've got that paperwork already in. So it increases your business by 30% right there. And the city makes more money. Guess where they make their money from? Taxpayers not wasting their time on the bloody permit process. Cut the red tape, baby. Cut the red tape is my thing to cities. They all need to cut their red tape. Blockchain technology can enhance transparency, reduce bureaucratic inefficiencies, and streamline the a global infrastructure gap by up to 70% by streamlining administrative processes. So literally, whatever they give you as a prompt, ask this question. How can I cut the red tape? That's all you need to do. And then how do you sell this pen? It does AI. There you go. All right. So there's your takeaway. Augmented reality visualization tool. So you could actually develop an AR app that allows homeowners to visualize proposed improvements in real time, integrate local zoning laws and regulation to highlight potential issues. So I could have found out about opening left or opening right. There's a legal reason why they do that. I don't know the details, but I could have actually walked through and it would have said, oop, this is a problem. Oop, that's a problem. Oh, that shed is too close to your neighbor. You're not going to be able to put it there. So then Ted shed, before they even came out, I'd have my answer. All right, generate 3D models, proposed structures for faster review process. A crowdsourcing permit knowledge database. Create a platform where homeowners can share their permit experiences and tips. So make a community service system. Hey, if they're not doing the permit, who does the best permitting for sheds? Ted Sheds. Okay, they use AI. What do you think is going to happen to Ted? They're going to blow up because everybody knows they're using AI. Nobody else is. Cool. All right, I'm about to change your life right now. Okay, this approach leverages collective knowledge, demystifies the process, predictive analytics for permit approval. So analyzing historical permit data, you can figure out whether yours is going to make it through or not. So before you even think about putting that fence in, I can check to make sure I'm okay and not wait till I sell my house to say that wasn't permitted. Do I need a permit for that? I thought for a shed, I didn't need a permit. Wouldn't it be nice if somebody told me I did? So there you go, an AI app. All right, so anybody want to go further with this, or you like this idea? So what would you do next? What would you do next? So we know what we're doing. We kind of know how we're going to do it. Now we want to know who we're doing it for, right? So let me generate 3 persona profiles. This is a must do. Find your mission, your thesis statement. What are you going to do? Found out it's permitting. Going to cut the red tape. 2, how are we going to do it? Right? Now, we're armed with that. I'm going to ask it the following question. So I'm going to insert a problem right here. And I'm going to go to this. And I want to change those 3 buttons every single time. They should really make that the default. I always want a picture because that always works. And I always want the number list and I want detail, right? Okay, so here we go. App that we'll make to make it more streamlined for everybody, the city, the contractors, and the homeowner. can you suggest to me 3 persona groups? I'm going to think that we want to make sure this works for, number one, for the city to speed up getting customers who are happy. Number two, for the contractor, how can they be involved? And give me for each one of these 3% personas a name of a person, fictitious, based upon the aggregate average of age, personality, and person, male, female, of contractors, city workers, and permits departments, et cetera. And then give me just a demographic story about how they might benefit from this story. Keep it to 200 characters or less for each one of these persona groups. The third one is the homeowner. How would they benefit from this? Then following that, give me a full and ethnicity as name, age, and ethnicity so that I can put a face onto each of these people in this process. So we're going to go through that. Okay, now what I didn't tell you is I start with the narrative of what their story is. We got an angry homeowner. I'm going to see, oh, here we go. Oh, it's already done it. Idea for persona. So focus on the present, context specific, unique, use real data and avoid biases. Okay, so I asked for the, here we go. So the city permit officer, Sarah Chen, 42, ethnicity, Chinese American. Sarah, a dedicated permit officer, benefits from the app by processing applications faster, more efficiently. It reduces her paperwork, automates routine tasks, and allows her to focus on complex tasks, improving overall department productivity and citizen satisfaction. Contractor, Miguel Rodriguez. I think that was the name of my contractor that did the TED Shed, by the way. That's weird. 35, Hispanic. He's an experienced contractor, uses app to quickly submit and track permit applications for his projects. It saves him time on paperwork, reduces delays, and helps him provide more accurate timelines to clients, ultimately improving his business efficiency. Homeowner, Emily Johnson, 29, Caucasian. Emily's a first-time homeowner. So we got diversity of age, ethnicity, and use case, right? So the 3 different perspectives we're going to be serving in the process, right? Emily's first-time home finds the app useful and friendly, informative. It guides her through the permitting process, provides real-time updates, and helps her understand the requirements. This reduces her stress, saves time, and ensures her home improvement project stays on track and compliant. These personas represent the key stakeholders, that's what they are, stakeholders that you are serving, and the benefiting from the streamlined application in unique ways. The app addresses pain points for the city officials, contractors, homeowners, potentially leading to faster, more efficient, and more satisfying experience for all involved. Okay, next, I'm going to insert right here. And what I'm asking for next is this. Give me 8 ways that each of these personas will use this applications to fix a problem they have. Keep them short and numbered. Come on. Create for each of these 3 persona groups, the city official, the contractor, and also the homeowner, a list of 8 most important needs that they will need out of the application, so we can create solutions to their problems they currently have. And maybe our app can win this competition. So can you come up with first list in a numbered list, the person, their name, as you've described them so far, and then their top 8 needs. Keep them each short, so they're less than 10 words to describe what our app might be able to do to satisfy their needs. We'll use this as a checklist to see if our app was successful. At the end, we will check if we satisfied all these needs effectively. Is it working? Man, this is what I do every day. I could do this every day because it's so much fun. Go home and just do like a pretend one, right? So automated application process. This is the city permit, reduced manual data entry, real-time tracking permit status and progress, integrated communication system for applicant queries. Okay, so when you start to look at this, and they are what you would imagine they would be, right? And it has the detailed information of exactly what you need to do. Now, you got 5 people in your group. What do you do now? What do you imagine you would do with, you know what the solution is? You know who the people are. You know what their actual individual needs are. Do you assign each of your people, like 3 of the people, here's my suggestion. 3 of the people, each one take a persona. You go through and ideate the solutions. 2 of the people are going to be your leads on the entire project. And they are going to think about the overall needs of the application and how it's going to be made. Is it an app that's 3 parts? So you sign in as a contractor, you sign in as a, so the big picture stuff. So these are your bosses or CEOs of your little hackathon group, right? Then the 3 people are going to be, so you're going to be in charge of the contractor. You're going to be in charge of the city, and you're going to be in charge of the homeowner. So you're going to take the needs list, those 8 things, and you're going to say, in the app, we're going to do this. Then the 2 groups, the bosses of your group, are going to say, is this going to be a website? Would that be effective? And the AR, VR thing, is that doable? So they have to, so then you come together. And part of the hackathon process, once you know what your mission is, you've identified your target audience and what you're trying to solve, the problem you're trying to solve. Then you come up with the personas, so you know what problems specifically you're trying to solve. And then you're coming up with how do we solve it in 48 hours, right? So you got to make it small enough so the 24 hours, yeah. That's a lot, but look what we got done. And we've been at it 1 hour and 20 minutes. So that ain't bad. And we weren't even talking about this 10 minutes ago. So 20 minutes, I got you guys. I could put you to work right now. I know you want a solution. Now the AR, VR thing, it'll be an additional thing we do later. So your bosses are going to decide. And so you have 3 things that you're doing as human beings. You're empathizing with the user. You're finding solutions to their problems that you don't really care about because you don't own a home, right? And you're putting yourself to work with whatever skill sets you have to do it. Are you skilled with AR and VR? Could you actually think about a person, but you could have them working on their phone and kind of scanning around, and then you can create illustration. In fact, by the way, I'm going to create an illustration of the personas, a photograph of these actual people. And well, Devin, I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. And then I will actually create that app photograph. So in your presentation, you're going to kill it. You ready for that? Everybody get the idea of this? And then you go through, so I got to focus it down in 24 hours. I can only do so much. What I can do, and as you notice that she said, the winner was a PowerPoint presentation with a great idea. If you tell a story, and we've already for us, we've got this image, we've got the persona groups. I'm going to show you how to make those. And we got this little guy right here. That's gold. That's your start right there. And then I'm going to give you a picture. So I'm going to go to Ideogram, and you can try this for free. You get 30 generations per day. And I think I can actually show you mine. Yeah, my images. Here's just what I've done. Oh, this was just, so I used ChatGPT to go in there and it made this image of someone using an app on their phone, ChatGPT was supposed to say, trying to decipher that CIA thing. I gave it actually the picture of the CIA thing and it didn't do it. All right, so, this was for the other day. So I was in a conference and we were talking about, well, how does AI get used in the classroom? And the educator had on the wall, had on his PowerPoint, this horrible janky picture of the robot with all mangled fingers and stuff. And all I did is I said, a photo illustration of a ship's control room, a student is seated at the wheel, navigating the ship. Beside him, the student, robot named, in parentheses, AI bot. You see the word on the back, spelled correctly. Ideogram does type perfectly every time. And it said, stands at the back to the camera, facing forward alongside a student, providing guidance in the distance. A large upcoming ship presents a potentially challenging problem for the student. To the right and well behind, I said this, literally this is what I said to it, right? This is verbatim what I said. Wearing epaulets and calmly observes, the female captain educator is seated, ready to step in if necessary, but confident the student's ability to navigate the control room is detailed with multiple scenes and dials, and the scene conveys calm while underlying tensions due to the approaching ship. So I took that and literally while he's giving the presentation, I gave him this at the end, and he's now using this around the world as he educates 1 million educators. And now he's got that. So let's see what we can do here. All right. I'm doing the same thing. This is natural language, folks. One little thing for you. I'm going to go start in ChatGPT. This is another way that I also do it when I'm doing something this complex. For a permitting process for cities to help homeowners get permits faster. I want to create an image of a homeowner taking her phone and scanning and making the photographs of her backyard in order to get a idea of if they need a permit or not. So I need a virtual reality app that's on a homeowner's home. So it should be a woman, age 43, I think it was, 43, Caucasian, blonde hair, standing in her yard, side yard. There's a white gate going around, and there's an empty hole where the old gate is, and the broken down gate is there. So she's taking a picture of it, and on her phone is displayed an image of a virtual reality application that will allow her to see if she needs a permit and automatically submit it to the city to start the process. This new app that we're designing in a hackathon will make this process a reality and make it great to streamline the process of permit application. I'm going to do that. Oh, 16:9 proportions for a social media post. Thank you. The reason why I did the 16:9, it's proportions if you use ChatGPT. It's using DALL-E, which is their engine to create an image. It's going to make my image for me. What I found that ChatGPT doesn't make photorealistic at all very well. It does great illustrations, and it took what I just said, and it's going to turn it into a prompt. So here's the trick. Oh, that's not bad. There, that's not bad. But I didn't want that, right? I didn't want, so I'm going to download that. You can see the problem with it. Looks like she's got a scanner. See if you need a permit. That's what it says, right? Side yard, submit the permit application. Wow, that's kind of cool. One thing it didn't do very well. So right here, you see the eye right there? Tells me the prompt it used. 43-year-old Caucasian woman with blonde hair standing in her side yard holding a smartphone. So it's taken my words and just made it smarter, right? And then what I do is I copy that. I go over to ideogram. Guess what I'm going to do? Paste. And guess what I'm going to go over here? I pick 16:9. At magic prompt, I don't need to have that because I did a magic prompt. Magic prompt takes whatever you say and turns it into a streamlined thing, which I use ChatGPT to do. Okay. I'm going to make it private. Yeah, no, I'll make it public so you guys can go see it. If you check out Rick McCauley anyway, you can get 30 of these a day, and I'm just going to generate and see what it comes up with. So right down the bottom right-hand corner, there it goes, waiting for fast queue. I pay $8 a month. It's really well worth it. When you see what it's about to do, let's see how good it does. Usually ChatGPT does okay. It can't spell worth beans. And you see that the text is all janky. I should have checked it over. Oh, it's using virtual reality. Okay. I don't want to do that. I think what my problem here is, oh, wait, maybe. Oh, that's not bad. Okay, so we don't want the virtual reality. Oh, that's not bad. What do you think? Oh, she's got a hole in the ground. Okay. And that's a photograph. So I'm going to download that as well. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to hit download PNG. Always do PNG. It's better quality. If you need to, you can up-res it. But for your presentation, I'm going to pin that. So if you go say, look for Rick McCauley in ideogram, you'll see this picture, the last picture. I'm going to leave this alone so it doesn't come back. So now I go back and now I've got this picture. If I take a look at what ChatGPT did for me, that's pretty good. I could Photoshop that and fix it and change that little VR thing. What I should have said is she's on her iPhone. You can use iPhone. It's got no problem making an iPhone. But the fact that it actually gave me the drawings up there is kind of cool, but I do like the other one. So if I sat here and worked it a little bit, I could have a really actionable piece of PowerPoint presentation that will wow them, right? So now the people, and what sells is the story and the visualization of it. We are all, number one, visual learners. There's not one of you that doesn't learn better visually. When I saw that picture show up with the steps of the process we're going to fix, when I saw this, in fact, I think it's kind of cool. So there's a 3D side yard image So you could actually take what it told you. In fact, here's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to go back to perplexity. And do you remember the personas that we asked for? And let's see, who do we want to do? Contractor. Okay. So contractor Miguel. So I'm going to copy this. And that's what he does. Okay. And I'll let that person in. And now I'm going to go to ChatGPT. Yes. Yes, exactly. So when you go execute this, that's what you're going to do. That's it. So you're going to leverage that. And so when you present it, you're going to go take a picture of that app that exists and then formulate it so it looks like this app. So you're going to make something that's already real. And that's going to be your competitive analysis. So what I typically do is, if I'm trying to streamline, is there any app that does that thing already? Or are there parts from other apps like you just mentioned, right? Always do the competitive analysis as soon as you know what you're going to go do. Who else has dating apps? So go back to that first story, right? Who else has dating apps? Well, there's Match and there's, all of them, right? And then you steal, this is what you do. You look at the brightest things they did. One of the cool things, and what I stole from, honestly, was really weird. I stole from OfferUp. So the catfishing problem was on OfferUp. You don't want to go to somebody's house to buy their couch, right? Show up and then get robbed. So they make this verification system, and I did it. And I'm thinking, why isn't this in every dating app? You take a picture of your driver's license. They can do a background check for no money. It's free. And then you take a picture yourself. They match. And then you've got a certified person. And then you have a check mark next to your dating profile or OfferUp. So I took something just from my human knowledge and experience and then transport it because I did outside the box thinking. And then I came back like exactly what you said. So there's 3D, there's all kinds of things you know about because of what you're doing, right? So you're going to take that base knowledge and you're going to pour it in. So you're going to ask it, I'm aware of this app. How can we make what that app does? Can we get an API to plug into our app? Is there some other way that we can generate that ourselves? How would we make it? Get Claude to code it for you. And you can have a working app by the end of 48 hours. Anyway, 24 hours. Okay. So I'm going to finish this persona group, and then I think I'll let you go and ask questions, right? Group profile. I'd like a square image of this person, Miguel Rodriguez. He works for Ted Sheds, and he will be installing for the homeowner this shed in the backyard. He's going to use a phone app that he has to make sure the permitting process is expedited, photographing evidence of his installation and all the parts. He can then sit in the backyard looking at the shed and send the information on to the city and get permits done faster. He is one of the #1 best installers because of his ability to use AI to get this job done quicker. Can you make me illustrate? You get the idea. And I'm going to take that and I just go boom, boom. Yeah. So I should have just done a headshot of him standing in front of a shed in a uniform, right? I don't know if it's going to pick up on the Ted shed or not, but I'll follow the same process. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, I'm done. That's it right there. Now, so in your PowerPoint, what do? You have the persona groups. Here's Ted, or Miguel, I'm sorry, Miguel Rodriguez from Ted Sheds. He's installed this and he's now photographed and he's used our app. And then you take your mock-up of your app and put right on that phone. They're going to say, here's the check. Where do I send? Who do I sign this to? This is hot. In fact, I want to do this now. So if anybody wants to do this, come join me. Go to my class. Come take my branding class. It's in next January. You got to take a class anyway, right? Might as well do something really fun. And I do this every day. I talk a little bit too much, but okay, everybody's getting this? Look at how real this looks. I mean, there's no question this man is going to be served by this and every person. Now, I do the exact same thing for each of the other two personas. So I've got the homeowner and I just plop that in there and I give a detailed list. So here's the problems we're solving for the Chen woman and for Mr. Rodriguez here, and also for the woman with the homeowner. And then now, if they don't want to give you first prize, they are missing out. Okay, everybody get it? So your final thing is presentation. So I just took you all the way through research, development, iteration, persona groups, and then now we have actionable presentation that I could sell ice to Eskimos with. But it's a human story. It's a story that came from my pain point. I literally waited for 2 months to get my shed. Then my door, it's just a simple door. It was a rotted out, falling down piece of wood that wasn't serving the public and wasn't keeping kids safe from falling into the pool, by the way, because it wasn't holding up. So any kid could go in there and drown. And it would be on me, of course, so I was anxious to get it done. So on top of everything else, and then you get the rainy season and the contractors, get backed up on their things. It's just a nightmare. And you could solve it. There's nothing more powerful than finding a solution for a world problem. Man, just find the pain and turn it into beautiful, beautiful answers. That's it. I think I'm gonna drop this pen right now, AI equipped or not. All right, so any thoughts? Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you very much. And I hope to maybe be there with you guys. I've been told I can't tell you my ideas because they are pretty amazing, but if you ever want to run by them at the downtown campus, I'll still be here for a few more years. I turned 65 this year, so I don't know what I'm going to do. But I'm having more fun than I ever have in my life because this is it, right? Solve the world problem, see what you can do. Any ideas that you guys? So now you're equipped with it. So what I'm going to do as the final step here is I am going to take this, publish it. So when you're editing it, all of these steps are there, and I can copy this link. And something I'm also going to do, this is a little extra. Here's Adobe Express. Built in is generative AI, video. There's QR codes. And what I'm going to use is I'm going to take this link right now while you guys are sitting here, Command V, hit style and color. There you go. Make it blue. Broward College blue. Download it. I'm going to go over to my presentation in PowerPoint. And there's the QR code again. I'm going to make a new page. Check this out. This is fun. I love doing this. I actually worked for Adobe as a content Adobe community expert and Adobe Express. Okay, so what I put right here on your phone, if you have Perplexity installed or not, what I'd like you to do, I want to make sure this works. So I'm going to go to the QR code. So that little last thing at the end, do that in your app. So if you have a place where you put reposited your product, make a QR code like I just did, and then everybody walks away with something at the end. Liking it? Okay. So now that you have Perplexity, how many of you signed up for Perplexity just now? Awesome. So now you got it. You got the pro version, right? You're the last ones, right? Send that on to everybody else. If you just send it to 2 more people, I'd be much obliged. Broward College, all of us will have it for at least a year. And then we're going to be so convinced that it's so vital to education, period, which it is. It is fundamentally, and I have used over 500 different applications. I can show you some music and other things if you want to get into Suno. I'm cutting an album, 38 songs I've just now gotten copyrighted. Songs that I wrote from the last 50 years of my life now have a presence for real because of AI. And I'm going to go look for famous people. I hope Taylor Swift is going to do one of my songs. That would be cool. Have any of you tried out? So let me give you a list of things you want to check out. Perplexity and ideogram, number 1, number 2. ChatGPT, use it. Use it in the way I just directed that photograph to get made. To create a prompt that ideogram just nails perfect. Because it does type and it does all the stuff. When you want the words to appear, if I want AI incubator in a circle, make sure the words AI incubator is in quotes. And instead of the correct quotes, which is 2 marks, use the foot and inches quote, which is 1 mark on either side. That works in single quote. Yeah. Ideogram for some reason doesn't like the double quotes. I don't know why. But also say elegant type or whatever else you want to say. So think of some questions, and I'm going to show you just a couple of things that'll blow you away. Suno is the other application we want to talk about. Make some music, have some fun. These are all apps on your phone, every one. So you don't have to, I literally stay up to 4 o'clock in the morning talking to my phone. My girlfriend, who's trying to find me in here, oh, is going to pick me up afterwards, is a little upset about that, but, and she's jealous of, well, when Siri starts to get really good, it's going to be a problem, but, all right, so let me go back over to PowerPoint, escape out of there. Any questions you guys have? I know it's a lot, right? Yes. Oh, I have no idea. Did you find out who the winners were? I'm going to concentrate on this. If you can just tell me what it is, that'd be fabulous. Okay.
We also have them, on the board, like, by the front office, next to my office. There's the winners of the last 2 years.
Okay. Here is Suno on your phone. All you have to do is, it will write the lyrics for you, by the way, if you want to. I go to ChatGPT. There's a GPT called Music Maker, MUSICMAKER, 2 words, no extras. And it gets the cadence right. So I can write, I could just talk, and then it makes the lyrics and everything else. So what I'm going to show you real quickly, this is the song. So this is rose-colored glasses and Dolly mustaches, and I'm going to show you, oops, if I can get this to work right. Hold on. So there's the song. And let me just show you the, oops. Let's see if I can play this. Can't get the volume up. Oh, that's my girlfriend. Sorry. So we went to the Salvador song from that experience. Okay, so I'm going to go through these really kind of quickly, but there's one. Here's Florabella, which I think would be a great song to. So the style is sunny tropical pop, breezy music. Now I wrote all the words, and it's talking about my girlfriend who you will meet in just a minute, named Ingrid. And she's a Florida girl. She's a Latin jazz singer. So we were on this beautiful romantic weekend. So the rose-colored glasses come from the experience of love. Oh, she's here. Oh, there you are. Hello. Hi, pretty lady. So I'm gonna work on the picture so it looks more like her later, but that was created in ideogram as well. But the story is about, and the rose-colored glasses was, we were having so much fun, and Dolly lives on forever. And when you're in love, I think the idea is you're wearing rose-colored glasses. You're occupying a surreal landscape where things are beautiful and love is wonderful, right? And you don't leave that. You get to live forever in that world if you have an imagination. So that song is talking about that idea. This is talking about Jimmy Buffett and how he felt about Florida, and how a woman is like Florida. It's warm, sunny breezes, deep oceans, and ideas, right? So it's taking these ideas. So your Latin flair, light up my life. She's going to be singing this on an album. So I'm now cutting a vinyl album of this. I've got it all copyright, all 38 songs, and you'll see some diversity here. And I'll play the next one here real quickly. This is Castles in the Sky. This is a story about, that's actually an image I made using film on the left. And take a look at the topography there. That topography was, I asked for elegant type. I think the song is a little bit quiet to really hear it. It's kind of hard to hear the sound system. We're getting feedback. Anyway, that image on the right is fed from the picture on the left, which is actually a chart in France in 2000 shot on film. I photoshopped those images from scanned images, and it was 12 images altogether with a little girl in a yellow dress. I fed that to ideogram, and then I said, give me a square image. Then I said, give me castles in the sky, in quotes, single quotes, with an elegant typeface. That's right out of the can. No Photoshop retouching, folks. All of these are. And I'll play something that's, okay. This is me, little kid, I'm 9 years old. We just got back from the States. I grew up 6 weeks old in Japan, and I'll start to play the song so you'll hear it. And I got to Kentucky, where my uncle had just passed. These are his children. So I lived in Greece and in Japan for 8 years of my life. We got back to the States, and we go to a funeral, right? And then, so I'm sitting there having a great time because I didn't know what a funeral was. I'd never been around someone who died or anything, and we were just kids, right? So then I saw these fireflies, and I put them in a jar. I literally put them by my bedside, and my dad said, "Put some food in there, or else they're going to die. You know, you want to make them last through the night." Well, what I forgot to do is punch holes in the top. So the next morning they died, and I was so sad. 9-year-old kid in a Batman t-shirt, looking all badass there, was crying his eyes out. And then I thought about that image is so prevalent in my brain as a memory of being human, that what is a love affair that doesn't quite last? Fragile wings can take the strain of love that burns too hot, too vain. Magical night, a child's dream. Everything's not quite what it seems. We try to hold on, oh so tight, to love as delicate as firefly light. Fireflies in a jar by our bed, glowing dreams dancing in my head. Morning breaks, they fade away, like love we thought would always stay. We so bright of our love that lit up the night, on but not forgotten, that's a bittersweet, a long caress. You flies, where did you go? Our summer of love, no longer a glow. Lullaby for what might have been a passionate night, now just a dream. So if you don't feel that, then take a look at this one. Now, these words are from Bruce Lee's Be Like Water. And I was thinking these school shootings and these churches that want to do something about it. So this water, this mighty creed that we're supposed to be standing up for others and leading the way. Now, I'm not a religious person at all, but I want to hear this sung in the halls after the next school shooting. That we are clear and true, and together we can do anything. Like water, we can go around rocks and we can overcome everything. And we have to rise together like a tide and heal. We are the water, the spirit that feels. We go over valleys and peaks and we flow, gathering strength each breaking day. Cleansed by trials, rain upon earth, in waters of change, we discover our worth. Now I've got this beautiful man's voice that has been rendered by AI with such passion that I feel so blessed to be able to have it represent my words and lead people to feel and do something about. Courage so bold. I can't sing like him, man. You can retell the story. You can have a baptism of faith by gathering together and doing something about it. Get out and vote. Get out and change the world. Get out and volunteer for people. Be there for everybody, especially the people you love in your life. You know, this is why we're here on earth. So if I could do that, you know, then you might want to check out Flux and Crea. I'm using that for a bunch of stuff. So here is a video, all of which is created in Crea and Luma, if you haven't tried them out. So all the images, Suno, the music. Crea is used for upskilling and also for creating most of the images, unless you see the word Luma in the top right-hand corner. This song is by me. The images were created in Midjourney originally, and then blended in Crea as transition between this image and this transitional image.
Wrapping up.
Okay. Okay. All right, that's it. So there's more, and you should definitely check out Midjourney. I'm going to make this publicly available to all of you, and obviously you can watch this. This is Midjourney and the kind of stuff that you can do there. It is free for 25 credits. To really do it well, it's $10 a month. It's well worth it. It's the top model of all of them out there. If you're doing professional generation. Definitely, there's a lot of new things. It's web-based now, so you don't have to go to Discord if you're upset with that. And there's many other applications, and this is this is an illustration for Alzheimer's that I did for a magazine. Here's just a fun image that I've been doing. I've generated over 10,000 images so far, and these are all from my photography. So the bottom line is, this is 50 years of my life. And these tools just make me capable of putting all this and being so productive. In my 50 years, I've never been more productive than I have in the last 3 months. And I can do anything. So use it to amplify what is beautiful and human about you, and then be of service. And the rest just paints a picture of a beautiful world. I am of service. My name is Rick McCauley. And I am here to help humanity be a more beautiful place. And I hope I've enchanted you with just some ideas of how you can do the same. Thank you.
Rick, you definitely did a good job. I'm Jamie, by the way. I came in late. I use Midjourney, but what was the video app? What do you use to blend it together like that? I
Are
missed
you
that.
using the video app?
To blend all of the images, how you did? How
Yeah,
did
so
you
I'm using Crea. Let me real quickly
Crea?
just. Yeah, so Crea is what I'm using. The two big ones today are, let's see if I can find the window here. Crea has a couple of really cool features. If you know about Flux, Flux is the latest, greatest model. that is better than Midjourney in some ways. You can do it under stable diffusions, but it's built into Crea. So you can come in here and generate images. I'm not going to do it real quickly, but here's just some stuff I did recently. So these are my prompts to the left, and then it generated these images right within Crea. This again is free for your use. Then it has at the home screen, Flux coming in, then real-time image composition, where you can add elements to something. And this is a real-time screen, so I can add a Adobe Tab. Oops, excuse me. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know
It's
where
art.
that. K-R-E-A. Oops. Oh boy. Okay. I'm now a little afraid. Sorry to go back to that window. That's embarrassing. Let me see if I can get, there we go. Okay, I'm going to skip that part. Enhancer allows you to upload photographs. So here is an illustration I did in another application, and then it actually upreses it to 2 or 4 times the speed. It does the same with video. So here's a video that I ran recently, and let's see if it will pull it up. And there is so this is before and after, so you can see the up-res quality. So it can up-res video, and then the really interesting thing is it can generate video. And the way that it works is you put in a picture here, you put in a picture here, and then it will make the transition between those pictures. And the result would be, if I hit generate, it's going to transition from each picture. So you started with the videos that I showed you in the one Beautiful Love Song, were images created in Midjourney, and then iterated through this process and then up-resed along the way. So you end up with a video that you can play at the end. Let's see if I can show you kind of briefly here what it looks like. And that's the end result. So Runway is another one that you might want to try out. It's probably the next big model. There's Kling, there's so many different ones. To keep track of all of it, I would go to YouTube and follow 2 people. Matt Wolf, 45 minutes every week. Matt Wolf, subscribe to him. He's amazing. If you take a look at this, here is, so as soon as, you know, it comes out, here's this latest episode. So he goes through every single tool. What's the news? He also publishes futuretools.io. Definitely worth your checking out. 1,000 products per day. So he's where I find out what's going on. I don't know if you saw this.
My son would love that Minecraft. He's
Yeah.
a code, trying to get in the coder. But thank you for your knowledge, sir. I appreciate you.
So they got hundreds of AIs to create their own world. And then there was only one person providing all the food, and that person wanted to retire. So they collectively, the AIs got together and then gave extra money and love to that person. And then when someone went missing, one of the AIs didn't show up, they put on lights and candles throughout the city. It's a crazy story, but that's where I found out all of them. Now, if you're really smart, you follow Lex Fridman. Fridman. Now, these are 4-hour-long videos. He did talk to Donald Trump for 4 hours recently. This is a couple of weeks ago, but he also talks to Elon Musk. He's talked to 5 times. So these are 4 hours of people talking to each other about every deep subject. From Tucker Carlson. Oh, here's the guy. I don't want to pronounce his name wrong. This is the guy that created Perplexity.
Gigantic part of successful software products and latency.
Yeah.
That's the way it's part of the life.
He gets into his whole story where he went from Google to OpenAI, and he tells you the whole keys to the kingdom and why Perplexity is what it is, and it's challenging the world. It will beat out ChatGPT as the most useful tool for search, or Google as the most useful. I'm considering it's already done. And Perplexity is available as a Chrome plugin, so it can be your default browser in Chrome. use it, instead of getting ads, you get answers. So imagine having Pro Perplexity, installing that plugin, every search you do gives you at least 8 cited events immediately with no ads whatsoever. So use that. And then I use another product called TurboLearn, TurboLearn. TurboLearn is used by everybody from Oxford to Duke University, Princeton. So you're in a class and you can use it in my class. Always ask permission before you do this. And start today, it's free. I'm going to just sign in real quickly so you can see it. It takes notes. So you can put in a YouTube URL. It will give you the complete transcripts and notes on it. So I listened to this today, human experience versus AI interactions. And it was a whole podcast. It gave me this as the notes from it. So here is the notes of everything in a numbered list. Let me see if I can make this a little bit more presentable. There you go. So there's my notes. And then I could go over here and do flashcards based upon that evidence. So if you've been sitting there through it, so here's the main topics they talked about. AI seems focused on one-to-one interactions rather than creative immersive social experiences, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. And then I can take a quiz on the notes I just took. If you don't use this in every single class, you're missing out. All you got to do, get permission first, please. Because of familiar, okay, according to the expert, why do individuals tend to prefer familiar states, even if they are worse states? Because familiarity provides a sense of control, because familiar is always better, because individuals lack self-awareness, unfamiliarity leads to anxiety. Yeah, so I'm going to say that. Nope, that's the wrong answer. This is the right answer. Okay, next question. So literally, you have it on when your professor's talking, or you're ideating something, and then it makes notes for you afterwards. So I could have had it on during this entire thing, and then it could have summative notes and the question and answer for me. So I test my knowledge, and it does it with everything. So I do it on every YouTube video that I was like 4 hours. I don't got time for that. This gives me a summarized notes. So emergent property effects of multi-agent interactions. I mean, this is a real serious topic. I listened to it for 2 hours in the car. That was brilliant. And it talks about how if we're always interacting with AI agents, how do we interact with people different? So it talks about the idea that during the pandemic, we were siloed so much that there's a stunt to the growth process of children that grew up in their younger years formatively in their learning process and their ability to interact and socialize with other human beings. So what are we going to be like if we talk to our AI agents more often than others? So anyway, those are my takeaways and the big ones that you should start thinking about. There's so many applications, you literally could do what I do and just go down every rabbit hole. But I'm telling you, the ones I have on my list, number 1, Perplexity. Number 2 is Ideogram for image making. Suno for just having fun making music. You can make a song about a taco, and it'll write the lyrics for you. And then who knows, you might get a number 1 hit out of it. And then the other one is TurboLearn, just because it's great. All the Adobe products work, and you have licenses here to use some of them. And then you're using, what's the UX UI software you're using? Figma, sorry. Figma's fantastic for generating mockups, especially for your presentations at the hackathon. Okay, I think that does it. I think we're at 7 o'clock. Thank you all very much. If I could be of help, just let me know.
Before everybody gets up and walk away, we have closing remarks to do today, for the club. So, first of all, thank you, Professor McCrawley.
My pleasure.
For coming and presenting to us.
Thank you.
I don't want this to slip by unnoticed, but I feel like if we're not putting enough emphasis on this, this man met Jimmy Buffett, the margarita guy. So,
And 4 presidents and the Pope. And a few other.
Okay, 4 presidents is cool, but Jimmy Buffett.
It is cool. He's a super guy. I had a drink with him too. We stayed out all night in Margarita.
I assume.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. All right. So this meeting and next meeting are our last 2 meetings before Shell Hacks. The registration for Shell Hacks is ending soon. It'll end on September 15th, so this Sunday. So if you're interested in participating in Shell Hacks, please sign up by the end of the week. You had a question there? Shell Hacks, no. For September 27th, we're doing Shell Hacks. Yeah. Registration for Mexico. Yeah, shellhacks.net is the website. So next meeting, I'll probably be more Shell Hacks, because it will be our last meeting before then. The 27th is when Shell Hacks is, so we're not gonna have a meeting then. Anyone from the club who's coming and the office will be at FIU that weekend, so we won't be here to run clubs, so just use that as time to prepare yourself for Plutohacks if you can, or if you're coming to Shell Hacks, I'll just see you there.
If you don't want to actually participate, if you register and then you can just go for the workshops.
Yeah.
That's really good.
The thing I'm mostly worried about is just transportation, is getting all the members from Central to FIU. Yeah, yeah, so that's another thing. I'm also trying to schedule people who are, who want to be on a team together, it's teams of 4. So I already have 3 people in this room are interested in Shell Hacks, so. Show of hands who here has signed up or has any interest in participating in Shell Hacks this year at FIU? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's already 1 team. That's already a full team, so, yeah, we have people interested. You're interested in jobs as well?
What's the difference between Pluto and Joe?
Plutohacks is a 48-hour, Plutohacks is a 24, no, it's a 24-hour hackathon. And Shell Hacks is a 36-hour hackathon, so Plutohacks is 1 day, Shell Hacks is 6 days, and it's generally a little bit.
That's 6.
It's pretty good. It's a hackathon, that would be insane. But
So Shell Hacks starts on Friday evening, ends up on Sunday. 2 weeks from now, at FIU. Plutohacks is a our college hackathon, is 24 hours short. It's gonna start on Friday at noon, and with presentations started at
pretty much the same, different,
So yes, so both hackathons, same idea, just 2 different universities. Colleges. And we are their community partners, so go over there, say hi to Ellie. Ellie is one of the organizers, she's a past inTech president, past VC student. She still have us with Plutohacks, so you can see her over there and see her over here. And even if you feel intimidated to go to hack, and you can't stay 36 hours, just go for the workshop. They have awesome workshops over there. So shellhacks.net, register, because if you don't register, you can just show up. There's a lot of people there. It's not like we have maybe 100, 150. They have like 1,000.
yeah, I think it's 1,000. Isn't it like literally Florida's largest hackathon?
Yes, so there's part of, so they, if you didn't register, you can just show up, okay? You have to register by the 15th, so today. Okay?
Yeah,
So when applying, it asks for a resume, what is that?
if you have a resume to submit to them, you can put that in there as a PDF, but if you don't have one, then, you don't have to worry too much about it. But if you, you're from College County, right? You're a high school student? Well, I mean, yes, okay. So, yeah, if you don't have a resume, that's fine, but, you know, this is
So they
also a good time to work.
resumes to all the sponsors, they give your resumes to sponsors, so.
Yeah.
Your job. You're a little bit young, so that's okay, you don't have to.
Let's see, so for the 4 people who are interested, so Juliana, what is your name, sir?
Oh,
Rafik, okay, so Juliana, Rafik, Taylor, right? Cameron, Taylor's the other guy. Yeah, okay. Cameron and Allison, I know you were interested in participating in Shell Hacks this year, so if you want, you can kind of talk to each other and then message them to figure out where you're going to go, figure out transportation and work on your, planning your work to work as a team.
Yeah, thank you guys put work as a team.
Yep, 2 weeks from now is when Shell Hacks is, so now is the time to start kind of figure out how well you gel together. And, you know, you figure out you want to work on a team together, you can always come to me and we'll figure out something for you. Even if you think you're just gonna hack alone, you know, we'll help you get there. And, you know, to tweak the fun a little bit, last year, all of the people who were part of inTech did win a category, so.
Oh, nice.
Throw that out there. If it comes to these clubs, high likelihood, statistically speaking, by one random study of one time,
You may
people win.
win.
So, Yeah,
So FYI, I've just shared in the Zoom call, both the click link for Perplexity, but also the QR code. And then I shared that image. It looks like one of the
yeah,
contractor didn't work, but just so you have some things to take away.
yeah, no worries. Can you send the PDF or the PowerPoint
Sure.
file to my email?
Yep.
Yeah, and I have to close it now because I have a bus to catch. So thank you, everybody, for coming to the meeting.
And please edit out that embarrassing moment.
And hope to see you guys there. All the people on Zoom, thank you very much. I have-
You log out of the computer, so you don't have to turn them off.
Bye.